It is 12 minutes after the hour. Anthony Jacks of the B.B. Colmer Tigers joins us this morning. Tough sledding last week for the Tigers, beaten by Fayetteville at Farm Links Field, and it was a tough night for the Tigers, Coach.
Yeah, it was. Fayetteville did a good job. They, they're a lot better than what they used to be. Coach Limbaugh's done a great job with them, and they just they don't make mistakes. They don't hurt themselves, and we were struggling a good bit with our depth. We had several injured the week before against Vincent. Probably some of our best players were nicked up, so didn't get to play, and we probably had 8 guys out of our starting lineup on both sides of the ball. So basically, we had a brand new team going down there with very little depth, and Fayetteville did a really good job of taking advantage of that.
I had someone ask me this week, what's wrong with B.B. Colmer's football team? Well, you just mentioned one of it, lack of depth, and you get a player or two injured, get a couple of players who are not going the right direction, and all of a sudden you find yourself playing kids that haven't played that
Well, that's right.
before.
And we've always kind of struggled with depth since I've been here, not having a lot of players. We've had some good frontline players. Our first, 18, 20 guys we feel like can play pretty good. But, when you lose some of your main guys like a Tyree McKinney or Spencer Likes or players like that are the guys that when it's crunch time, you want the ball in their hands. Tyree, middle linebacker for us, he made up for a lot of bad plays or whatever by other people because he was so athletic. He made it, all over the place making a bunch of tackles. So when you lose somebody like him, you realize how good he was. And, when you lose your best players and several of them at the same time, it's a difficult situation to be in.
And you even move one of your linemen to fullback.
Well, we got to. Our lineman has been our most consistent group all year long. We've probably got 7 or 8 linemen that we like, and when you start looking at your roster, you figure out who your best players are, and so Austin Nicholson, we put at fullback a little bit last week. We kind of put him in there as an emergency role, gave him a few reps at practice. He's pretty smart, so he picked it up pretty quick. Hoping we wouldn't have to go to that, but at the game, we just said, well, look, we're just going to go with you and get you some reps. And this week, he's worked there all week. So, if nothing else, we're going to have a big old fullback running in there.
You can change his number.
Yeah, we went ahead and made the move this week. So, nothing else, we'll have a big old fullback. They're going to have to tackle him. So at least that'll be tough on somebody. Well,
the first time in the history, I think, the two teams have played Fultondale tonight at the stadium.
That's right. Fultondale comes in, a region game for us. Pretty good team. They're spread. They got three good athletes and, pretty good on defense. So, I think we got a couple guys back. Hopefully we'll be a little bit more up to speed. And, we're still going to be real thin on depth tonight.
You kind of throw the game plan out the window a little bit because of injuries and lack of depth when you got guys playing positions that they're not accustomed to playing, and you can't do a lot of the things that you would normally do.
Well, you can't, because you take last week for example. If you got your frontline guys in here, you can make tweaks, you can make adjustments, things like that. Well, basically, when you have to start over with a brand new group, you're pretty much limited in what you can do. And but I tell you what, I appreciate those guys that have been showing up and coming to work every day, even when things aren't going good. That's what I told them. Look, you're not defined by your wins and losses as a person. You're defined by what you do. When things aren't going good, that's where your true leaders come out. When things aren't going good, that's where your true character shows. And I'm proud of the guys that we've got. That no matter what the situation is, they show up every day, and that's what we want. Ultimately, we're trying to train these guys to grow up and be good, responsible adults and take care of their business, to handle their things that they've got to handle. I tell them all the time, that's the difference in a boy and a man. A boy does what he wants to do, and a man does what he's got to do. And so I'm pleased with these guys that we got. It hadn't been fun. It hadn't been up to our standards by any means. But those guys have hung in there and they've really worked hard. And I'm very proud of those guys.
7 o'clock kick against Fultondale tonight over at Legion Stadium, and it would be a great shot in the arm for a nice crowd to be in the stands to support these guys who have stayed the course and have really bought into the program, whether you win or lose.
Well, that's right. I think a couple weeks ago at homecoming, that was huge. For us when we run off the field at halftime and the crowd's right there cheering for you. That really just makes you feel like they're pleased with you. That really gives the players a shot in the arm, gives us a shot in the arm. So good crowd tonight sure would help.
All right, Coach, thanks for being with us.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Anthony Jackson, head football coach of the BB Comer Tigers, our guest. The Coach's Corner continues with Matt Griffith of Sylacauga right after this.